All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. The G stands for get. Jimmy G buckets with 45 points in game 2 to give the Miami Heat a 2-0 lead as we're about to head to Atlanta. Personally, I was a little bit more impressed with the defense. Miami Heat are a really solid defensive team, really solid offense and defensive team, hence the 53-29 regular season record and, the 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. But I was really impressed by the defense, specifically a cat named Gabe Vincent who got the end of the game, finished out the game, and I think he was like obviously it was really solid team defense in general tonight, but he was a huge reason for Trae Young's just miserable, not only night, but specifically fourth quarter, a game where Trae Young finished with over 10 turnovers. Trae Young, over 10 turnovers. We'll talk about that a little later on in the video if you guys enjoy it. Hit the like button, hit that sub button. I post NBA videos every single day, kind of covering the whole playoffs here. We're trying to hit 50,000 subs by the end of the playoffs. Pretty crazy goal. So let's try and hit 115 likes for this Miami Heat victory. We'll talk both sides. But, you guys know I live here in Chicago. Big Bulls fan. Jimmy G buckets, very familiar with him, and it's like he goes off against the Bulls every single season. I love it. And so watching tonight's masterclass performance where he played 39 minutes, shot 15 of 25 from the field, 4 of 7 from downtown, 11 of 12 from the free throw line, like literally all 3 of those stats are money. But the even more money stat, 45 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, plus 19. I mean, this guy, they needed him tonight, dude. Like, they really needed him tonight. PJ Tucker, Bam Adebayo, they got in foul trouble, like, immediately. It's kind of surprising. There's no Capella. You had an interesting lineup, or I shouldn't say interesting lineup, but, game 1 and game 2, different lineups than what Atlanta would usually throw out there because of Clint Capella's injury. I would imagine, I don't think he'll come back in this series. I don't think it would even, really matter. Atlanta's a good basketball team, 43-39 on the season, but I still have the same thoughts as I did last year, as I did at the start of the season, as I do right now. Like, they need another star, dude. They need another star. Even if John Collins is reaching stardom or star potential, you need somebody else. And once they get that somebody else, they're going to be really freaking good. They already are really freaking good. So, this is kind of a team that reminds me almost of Minnesota, where they've just got this chip on their shoulder, man. Everyone's counting Atlanta out. If Atlanta wins this series, who can they not beat? They could beat anybody. But tonight, unfortunately, Trae Young wasn't his night. Obviously they're battling some injuries, and it sucks, man. It sucks for the Hawks, but hey, zoom out of the chart, still pretty bullish on Atlanta in general, very bullish in Atlanta in general. I'd buy right now. I'd immediately buy. But outside of that, like I said, you had PJ Tucker in foul trouble. You had Bam Adebayo in foul trouble. Both of them only played 24 minutes. Bam with 4 fouls, only 9 points. PJ with 5 fouls, only 3 points. They made impacts. Bam had a pretty solid end of the fourth quarter. It's not like he was completely irrelevant, but I'm just saying these two guys, they were battling foul trouble, and they only ended up playing 24 minutes apiece. So Atlanta, if Trae Young was on, because Bogdanovic, the Serbian sniper, was going off. Second half, this man was absolutely going off. Keep in mind, Miami only had a 2-point lead at halftime. Third quarter comes on, Jimmy Butler kind of goes off. They start clamping on defense, and it looked pretty over. Fourth quarter comes, Bogdanovic is literally on something. Bogdanovic, he is a stud. As the announcers kind of pointed out, when Bogdanovic is on fire, when he's shooting his threes, when he's making his threes, he's making his shots, it's a completely different basketball team. I feel like that's kind of obvious, but it really is. He was on something, and it's kind of what you usually see from Trae Young. So if Trae Young was making his shots, we probably got a different conversation going on here. Not going as far to say as Atlanta would have pulled off the upset, but I'm just saying, man. Moving on, Atlanta, dude, Trae, 10 of 20 from the field. It's not a bad stat. 25 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists. 2 of 10 from downtown is really where you saw just the miserableness along with the 10 turnovers. Like I said, man, shout out Gabe Vincent. I thought it was really interesting and exciting that he got the nod to end the game. It was felt like the whole damn fourth quarter Gabe Vincent was in. And it's really little things. Like, I'll be live. I've been streaming the Raptors-Sixers series, and I'll be live, and you've got, like, Toronto, pressing James Harden, pressing Tyrese Maxey, or you'll have the same thing vice versa, and I'll get some comments saying, like, why are they full-court pressing? Well, it's not like a full-on full-court press. It's not like you've got, like, 3 dudes out there, but what you saw in the fourth quarter, what you see with Gabe Vincent, he does this a lot, is he just picks up the opposing team's ball handler when they get the ball. And it's not like he's necessarily going for an 8-second violation. It's not like he's necessarily trying to prevent him from getting across half court. But what you're really trying to do is you're really trying to just throw Atlanta's game plan off. You're trying to get Trae Young specifically uncomfortable. I mean, imagine you have a wide open court until you reach the 3-point line, and then Gabe checks up. He's got a hand in the face, he's got an active hand, and he's like, all right, defense. Or imagine Gabe Vincent picks you up, and although he's not like, body checking you, there's some hand checks in there. He's reaching for the ball. He's just making it uneasy. And then 7 to 8 seconds later, that's when the offense gets initiated. It's already off the rhythm. Trae Young's already off his groove. And I felt like you really saw it with the 2 of 10 from downtown. Now, Trae Young's had a miserable first 2 games. Atlanta in general is a horrible, no disrespect, Atlanta, horrible away team. I mean, this season, 16 and 25 on the road, just abysmal. At home, it's going to be a different story, right? You've got Atlanta, you got the Atlanta crowd. They're going to be loving Trae, and they're going to be hyping their team up. So games 3, game 4, they're going to be a lot different than games 1 and 2. Trae Young is not going to shoot 2 of 10 from downtown again. Trae Young is not going to be held to single digits game 1. Like, those 2 things I don't think are going to happen. Miami, if you just keep playing good offense, you just keep playing good defense, I think Trae Young could honestly do whatever the hell he wants. And unless you've got guys like Bogdanovich having the night he did, or you got John Collins going off, or DeAndre Hunter, basically the point I'm trying to get at here is Atlanta is a good team, but unless to come back down 2-0, you really need to be going on every cylinder, offensively and defensively. You're going to need a little bit of luck on your end. I just don't see Miami blowing a 2-0 lead. Even if they're going on the road. It's not like Miami's a bad road team. They're not a great road team per se, but they're not. I have a hard time believing that they're going to lose this basketball series. Kevin Huerter, 9 points for him. DeAndre, a little inefficient shooting the ball, but he did finish with 16 points. He was dealing with foul trouble the whole game, specifically in the second half. John Collins did all right. I would probably want him to be a little more aggressive if I'm thinking for the Hawks' sake. Bogdanovich, so like I said, man, 29 points, 12 of 18, 5 of 10 from downtown. Most of it came there in the fourth quarter. DeLon Wright, I'm still very big on DeLon. He doesn't necessarily like blow up the stat sheet, but it's more of the stuff that you just can't count analytically. I mean, he's a really good basketball player. He's a really great team basketball player. And any fan of a team that has had DeLon, they will tell you exactly that. Like, yeah, he's a super solid piece. Super solid piece. So, with Miami, we saw no Vic tonight. We saw 7 minutes from Duncan. Gabe Vincent, Tyler Hero, Cody. I mean, they all kind of held their own on the bench. I think I just said Kobe Martin. Or Cody Martin. Sorry, Caleb. Max Struss, good first half. Like I said, Gabe Vincent, really, to me, Gabe and Jimmy, those were the 2 reasons that this was a great Miami Heat victory. Kyle Lowry couldn't get anything going offensively. Kyle Lowry, in general, I feel like he couldn't get anything going just in any cylinder except maybe some defense. Not a good game from Kyle. Not a good game. Not a good game from Bam. Not a great game from PJ. Not a good game from 3 of your 5 starters, and you still won by 10 points at home. So you got to take what you can get. Jimmy Butler, obviously, he's probably not going to drop 45. I guess, probably for the rest of the playoffs, if we were, speaking statistically wise, it's obviously possible. But he set a career high playoff record tonight. But I think if you're Miami, you don't want Jimmy Butler to have to drop 45 points and completely take over the fourth quarter, completely take over the game, second half, or what have you. You want to have a much more smoother victory. So I probably got Miami in 5. If I had to put some money on it, if I had to make a prediction, I'd probably go Miami in 5. I think it's really difficult to sweep teams. Even like a Warriors-Nuggets series, like Denver is so short-handed, and Golden State looks phenomenal, but I just feel like sweeping teams, that's pure domination. That's pure domination right there. So I got Heat in 5 here, but Atlanta, you get game 3, you're right back in it. So if I'm a Hawks fan right now, I'm definitely not getting too down on myself because, like I said, Trae Young, just horrible game 1, horrible game 2. So that's not going to happen. If it does happen, I would be like I would be so surprised if Trae Young throws up another dud next game. I would be shocked. I don't think it's not going to happen. So let me know down below your thoughts on this series. Let me know your predictions, and hit the like button. Let's try and hit 150 likes on this video. Hit that sub button as always, and I'll see you guys later.